Jackson Holliday will not be headed to the All-Star game for the Birds. And this man, Trevor Rogers, however, he's looking like an All-Star as the new Orioles ace. Hello, everybody. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest. Boy, we have a lot to get to. How did Trevor Rogers become the ace of the Orioles staff? We're going to get to that and his latest numbers. And if you don't know what they are, they will dazzle you. Plus, we're going to take a deep dive into the run differential of the Birds. What do the Birds need to do to really climb back into the wild card race? 7.5 games back. Then we're going to get to Jackson Holliday not being named as a reserve to the All-Star team. Should he have? Should other guys on the Birds have had a look or a stronger look? We're going to get to that as well. And everything Orioles related. Please like, subscribe, do all the things. This is Orioles Digest, and we appreciate you here. Let me tell you something. This, as we sit here on Monday morning, this is the most important stretch of games for the Birds this season to date, because this will determine if they are truly in the wild card hunt or not in the wild card hunt, if they are buyers, if they are sellers, if they will stand pat. 7.5 back in the wild card. I think you have to be about 6.5 at the most going into the All-Star break to even consider being buyers in another few weeks at the trade deadline. Speaking of buyers, and speaking of somebody who might be on the block, if the Orioles become sellers. Now, let me be clear. I want the Orioles to go all in. I want them to. I think that the Birds, and I'm going to get to the injuries in a second, I think if the Birds can get healthy, truly healthy, they can make a run at this wild card. But look at this. This is Trevor Rogers. This is Trevor absolutely dominating Atlanta yesterday. Look at it again. It's certainly worth it. And then we're going to look at some numbers which are going to blow you away. Nobody thought that Trevor Rogers was going to be an ace, but he is certainly looking like an ace for the Birds right now. Remember, he's under team control beyond this season as well. So that is impressive and important. I know these are a lot of numbers to look at. The gist is that these are Trevor Rogers' starts this year. 6 1/3, no runs. 2 1/3, 3 runs, 4 strikeouts. That was an aberration. 8 1/3, or 8 rather, no runs. 5 1/3, 2 runs. 6 2/3, no runs. Put it all together, and for Trevor Rogers, that's a 1.57 ERA and a .87 whip when he's healthy. That is an ace. That is what you look for. And that, frankly, is super surprising for the Birds, but super important. And here's why. And here's why, frankly, I believe the Birds have a shot at turning things around in the second half of this year, because just look at the arms that we still have hurt on the IL. One other quick fun fact, the Birds are 24-15 since Trevor Rogers debuted in Boston this season. But these are your injuries. This is a who's who. You have Zach Eflin, he's hurt. He'd been scuffling, and he's hurt. Grayson is still hurt. Kyle Bradish is still hurt. Tyler Wells is still hurt. Cade Povich. Right there you have a starting 5. Right there you have 5, 1, 2, or 3 starters right there. Add to that Cody Poteet. You have Keegan Aiken. You have Albert Suarez. And these are your hurt arms for the Birds. And these are, this is in one way, this is uplifting because this shows you that if the Birds can get some healthy arms back, it will help in a tremendous way. Because right now the Birds are 27th in ERA, a 4.98 this year, almost 5, versus less than 4 last year, 3.91. More than a run difference this year. Why does that matter, my friends? Why does that matter so much? I'm going to tell you why that matters so much. It matters so much because this stat is telling. Third worst in the AL with this run differential. 82 runs. The Birds have scored 371. They've allowed 453. You're not going to climb back into the wild card race with this type of run differential. Obviously, you'll say, well, it's obvious. Yes, the Birds need to score more and give up less. Yes, that is true. And that is baseball, frankly. But that is exactly what has to happen right now. Now, let's get to other news. Jackson Holliday. What do you think about this? Do you think Jackson should have been named to the All-Star team as a reserve? We always knew it was going to be tough. He's having a great year. He's having a stellar year. We always knew, though, Gleyber Torres, etc. We always knew this was going to be an uphill battle for Jackson, and now we know that he's not going to get a look. But, man, did he make his case yesterday in Atlanta. 4 for 4, 2-run homer. He advanced to phase 2. He will be an all-star. It just won't be this year. Look at his numbers real quick, or let's talk about them. I have the very latest right here. 260, 13 doubles, 2 triples, 11 homers, 36 RBIs, and a 724 OPS in 82 games. He's now the Birds' everyday leadoff hitter. And this is an interesting statistic. I think this is from Rock Kubako at Masson. He's only the 4th Oriole with multiple 4-hit games before turning 22. Who else is in that family? Manny Machado, Brooksy, and Eddie Murray. That's great company to be in. There were others kind of, talked about in this all-star conversation. Félix Bautista has been outstanding. Ramon Laureano has been great. Gunnar Henderson has definitely come on. They appear to have a chance. None will join Ryan O'Hearn at the All-Star game this year. Ryan will be having a room for one. What is the future of Ryan O'Hearn with the Birds? What is the future of Trevor Rogers and Cedric Mullins and you name it? The future of these guys could rest on this week, as the Birds have 3 against the Mets and 3 against Miami. The Mets are red hot, as you know. It's going to be a big week, Orioles fans. Stay tuned. We're going to have it all for you. I'm Jon Leiberman. This is Orioles Digest.